I can Aura Sphere and Sludge Bomb Incineroar here. And if they let me have it, then I avoid the knockoff into my Eternatus, probably. Oh, I actually just crit them with the Aura Sphere. I mean, so let's go. That's awesome, but I could have just clicked another Cosmic Power with my Eternatus. This is something of a season finale for this channel, because the Bologna special event was probably the last one I'm going to be covering this season. There are still events coming up in Asia, but Asian events are not under the umbrella of the Pokemon Company International. They work very differently from events elsewhere, and most of the time I don't have any good line of sight to them. So the chances that I find out much of anything about what happened in them, not great. If some interesting team really pops off at the Japan National Championship and I get my hands on the paste, then I might try that one out here, but otherwise this is pretty much it. There are otherwise no more events coming up that are not subject to the content blackout on this channel. And if you don't know what blackout I'm talking about, it's explained in the first video in the cards. But Tuesday tournament team videos are about to go on hiatus. I'm thinking about whether I want to do them again next season. That'll be a decision for then, I think. But for now, I have 5 more Regulation I teams that got my attention when I was scrolling through tournament standings recently, even though none of these teams won their respective events, except one. And we are going to start with that one exception. This is the team that won the Durban Special event in South Africa fairly recently. Durban, of course, was the second event in South Africa this season out of 2. Following Johannesburg, and I had hoped to make a video with the team that won Johannesburg, but I don't know, it might be, the team sheet might be out there now. I haven't seen it. I couldn't find any information for a long while about that event. It took me days to even find the winner's name, and at that point that still was all I had, so I gave up looking for more. So when Durban came along, I expected more of the same, and I prepared for that. And when the team sheets actually came out very quickly from that event, I had already scheduled something else, and I was going out of town for a little bit. But anyway, here we finally are. This is the team that won the Durban special event. And just glancing at the 6 Pokemon, to be honest, they didn't really stand out to me that much. I mean, you don't see a lot of Pelipper these days, but it's not a crazy Pokemon to use. Shadow Rider Calyrex and Terapagos is not the most common restricted duo, and not really one that I would necessarily expect to win a major tournament. But just look at the Pokemon, there's nothing that weird here. But as I was filling out the team builder just now, I noticed this very unusual Flutter Mane set with Thunder Wave and Fake Tears. So, the Pelipper does not have Tailwind on this team. It's Life Orb Pelipper. That definitely got my attention too. So where's the speed control? Well, to some extent, actually, yeah, almost all of the speed control on this team is the Thunder Wave Flutter Mane. And the Fake Tears is very interesting, of course, because you can set opposing Pokemon up to be knocked out very quickly with that special defense drop by either one of your restricteds. It's a Focus Sash, Shadow Rider, Calyrex on this team, so it's a little bit harder to remove than if it had a different item. It is, of course, the fastest restricted Pokemon in the game, throws off powerful, accurate, spread special attacks. Combo that with Fake Tears, and a lot of opposing Pokemon are just going to melt. And then, of course, Terapagos with the Terra Star Storm also benefits from that. Then we have Assault Vest, Raging Bolt. We have a pretty typical Rocky Helmet Amoonguss. And that Life Orb Pelipper is really interesting. That, of course, combos well with the Flutter Mane too, but yeah, that is something I'm not used to for sure. So it's going to be an interesting team to try out. A couple of these sets are maybe outside of my comfort zone. We'll give it a go here. Since I have 5 teams to use today, I think I'm just going to do 3 or 4 games with each team. Probably only 3. I'll add an extra one if I feel like it. And that ought to be plenty. That ought to fill time very nicely, yeah. Okay, we have a Zamazenta Shadow Rider team here. Recording this a little bit after Bologna. This is the one that won Bologna, right? In which case I just used it like 2 days ago. Recording-wise, a week ago in video time. So I ought to know what this team does. If it's the team that won Bologna, it's Life Orb Shadow Rider, Sash Champao, Assault Vest, Incineroar. I don't know that knowing this is really helping me that much. I kind of want to just throw Flutter Mane and Shadow Rider at them, and they do have Wide Guard. They do have Incineroar. Of course, Incineroar can't get its special defense dropped by the Fake Tears. It's not like Flutter Mane has. Prankster. You know, I kind of want to just do this because it's the most fun-looking, explosive thing this team has. Honestly, the Terrapagos is probably not that good here under Chien-Pao and Zamazenta. Maybe it is. Let's just bring Raging Bolt and Pelipper in the back. Pelipper is stronger to those Pokemon that I identified, as well as... Pelipper actually has kind of interesting offensive coverage because Incineroar and Amoonguss is such a common support duo, and Incineroar running Terrabug a lot of the time these days. I think this is Terrabug on this team. Maybe it's like Fairy or something. I don't remember. I look at too many teams, I guess. Can't keep track. Anyway, how about I just fake Tears the Amoonguss and click Astral Barrage here? Ooh, maybe I wanted to get rid of the Raging Bolt instead. But hey, especially if I was going to crit the Amoonguss, but I didn't know. They Thunderbolt Flutter Mane though, and they don't knock it out. Flutter Mane, of course, very high special defense stat. Now they have their Zamazenta in. This is the problem, right? They have the Wide Guard. And my only other attack on this Calyrex is Pollen Puff. Honestly, it might be worth it to fake Tears and Pollen Puff the Raging Bolt. I'm down to try. They Thunderclap. Calyrex does a lot of damage. They didn't Wide Guard this turn, so I could have just clicked Astral Barrage. But hey, I got rid of Raging Bolt. Traded Calyrex for it, though. So I'm out of restricted Pokemon, and they still have potentially both of theirs. I'll go Raging Bolt here. Well, I don't... Okay, they brought Chien-Pao last. I don't know if I don't know that I played this optimally, but that was actually a lot of fun. Just... It's too bad I didn't click Astral Barrage that last turn, but just deleting things with Fake Tears and Shadow Rider. That's very fun attack. How do I win this? Well, Pelipper kind of just counters Zamazenta, doesn't it? So I just need to get rid of the Chien-Pao. This one has Sucker Punch, so Thunderclap is probably not good into it. I still have my Terra. I'm going to Moonblast and Terra Electric Thunderbolt. They do Sucker Punch the Raging Bolt. Oh, it's Life Orb Chien-Pao. I don't think this... I think it was Sash Pao and Incineroar on the team that won Bologna. Life Orb Pao and Rillaboom on the runner-up team. So I think this is not an exact copy. Anyway, Pelipper should win from here, right? I'll just Fake Tears and Weather Ball. Get the Fake Tears pay off one more time. They might forfeit after seeing that, but... Come on, let me see what this Weather Ball does. Nice. Alright, GG. Yeah, Fake Tears Flutter Mane is looking like a lot of fun. Good thing I didn't just skip this team. Get a couple more. Kyogre, Zamazenta, Tornadus, Landorus, Electabuzz. Haven't seen one of those in a little while. And Rillaboom. Okay. Can I just Astral Barrage this? Well, once again, Wide Guard is potentially an issue. Once again, I kind of don't really want to bring the Terrapagos to this. Maybe it's because both opponents had Zamazenta. I'm not necessarily sure that I'm seeing where Terrapagos fits in on this team. I mean, I get the synergy with the Flutter Mane set, but... I don't know. I kind of want to just bring the same 4 again, so I think I will. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. There we go. Now it'll start for all my games this session. I'm fighting my rival here. Look at that. They got this guy as their avatar. Oh, can't lose this one then. Seconds. Okay, we're starting. We started. We are starting. Kind of tried to say both of them at the same time there. Rillaboom and Landorus. Well, I don't have. I mean, I don't have anything other than a Ghost type. I only have Ghost types on the field, so I don't have to worry about Fake Out. I'm just gonna Fake Tears and Astral Barrage. Let's go. Pair Fire, okay. That didn't KO anything. But, on the flip side, I lose my Calyrex to a Grassy Glide now. Oh well. Well, if they target the Calyrex, then they can't Grassy Glide the Flutter Mane. So let's try... I know it's a Fire type, but it's at -2 special defense and 20% HP. Let's try a Moonblast into Rillaboom and Protect. Switch to Zamazenta. Yeah, the Grassy Glide Calyrex. Goodbye Rillaboom. That's their only offensive priority user, so good to take that off the board, I think. They could still have Tornadus in the back and set Tailwind. Nope, it's Kyogre. Okay. I would love to just fake Tears Astral Barrage here, but once again, I'm worried about the Wide Guard. That's one thing that's a bit of an issue for this team. That said, remove Kyogre, and once again, I kind of question the Life Orb Pelipper, but we're in a position where, yeah, if I remove Kyogre, I mean, Pelipper's might have issues with the Landorus, but it does nicely cover the other Pokemon left on this team. Alright. It might be better to Thunder Wave Kyogre instead of Fake Tears. I can Fake Tears later. I'll throw Raging Bolt at them for now. All that thinking and it protects. Raging Bolt takes that Behemoth Bash, no problem. I thought they might take the KO on Flutter Mane there, but they didn't. Alright, here's the thing. If I just Thunder Wave, Thunderbolt, Kyogre now, they have a very free switch to Landorus. So I think I should do not that. I'll Moonblast this slot. Do I still Thunderbolt it or Thunderclap it? Yeah, I'll Thunderclap. They switched to Landorus. Okay. I forgot how much damage I did to it earlier. This will KO. Then Kyogre's stuck on the field. I do finally lose Flutter Mane now. I'll go straight back to Calyrex. Preserve the Pelipper for an endgame against Zamazenta. If their rain turns end before I bring Pelipper back in and I get to set the rain back up, that would be kind of ideal. I'll Protect here. I could potentially Encore lock something into Protect after that. And just go for Thunderbolt into Kyogre. Okay, it protects. Body Press does a lot of damage. Well, this is awkward. Now I want to Thunderclap Kyogre, but that means I can't lock it into Protect. That's okay. They haven't clicked Wide Guard a single time, so I don't think they're going to now. Just Astral Barrage. They tried to Protect again. Makes sense. That denies the Thunderclap. Yeah, good play. And knock out Raging Bolt here. I get Pelipper in, not at the time that I wanted. Yeah, I had Pollen Puff into Raging Bolt that turn. That's what I should have done. Pollen Puff and Thunderbolt. Yeah, that was the right play. I just didn't do it. Let's lock Kyogre into Protect now, though, and Weather Ball Zamazenta. I might still be able to win this. If this knocks out Zamazenta, it doesn't. I didn't get a Fake Tears into it this game. And now there's no more rain, so I guess I Hurricane the Zamazenta and hope I hit. Yeah, that Pollen Puff Thunderbolt play would have been a lot more sound, I think. I do knock out the Zamazenta here, but then drop to Life Orb damage. Okay. Well, I think I know where that one went wrong. One more. I still haven't broughton Terrapagos to a game. Is this the one for it? I don't think so. They have a Groudon. Maybe I'll play with this team until I get an opponent that doesn't have a fighting type restricted. Such opponents exist, right? Although some of them then will have Iron Hands and Urshifu. Maybe I just can't be this afraid of fighting types. When I have Flutter Mane, Amoonguss, Pelipper, Shadow Rider Calyrex, which can help with fighting types and also help keep Terrapagos healthy with Pollen Puff. They also have a possible Wide Guard user that will probably get in my head but never actually click Wide Guard. So that's fun. Can I do, like, Flutter Mane, Terapagos, Pelipper, Calyrex? Let's try it. Obviously, setting up Terapagos early is not necessarily great when they have the Groudon to threaten it, but Flutter Mane gets its photosynthesis when the Groudon comes in. I can Thunder Wave Groudon. I can fake Tears it, maybe. I could have a Clear Amulet. I also have Pelipper available to switch in and set the rain. I'm going to taunt Lunala here so that it can't set Trick Room or something. And just protect, because I think they're going to fake out Terapagos. Okay, well, I was wrong about that. But they missed their Meat Eater Beam, that's nice. They knock off Terapagos. That makes sense, actually. Terapagos is usually going to be running... If it's not Specs, it's usually going to be running Leftovers or Covert Cloak, and either way, removing it is more useful than an immediate fake out. I should keep that in mind when I played against Terapagos. I think I messed that up pretty often. I think I'll just Moonblast and Starstorm. I think I'll just... I don't know what to do. Fake Tears and Starstorm Incineroar. I want to get rid of Incineroar is my point here. The Moongeist Beam, Flutter Mane, knock it out. Now I don't have that threat into Groudon anymore. Don't get the KO on Incineroar. Didn't really think I would. I guess I go Calyrex here. Hey, they can't click Wide Guard even if they have it, so that's something. Hit Terra normal. That means I can't Terrasilize Terapagos. It also opens up a vulnerability to Groudon, potentially. I'm just going to do it, though. I'll go for a Calm Mind here. I think that's too passive. I'll Starstorm the Lunala slot, anticipating it to switch out. If I can catch Groudon on the switch, that would be very helpful. They actually just Terra Water instead. I guess they did have that option. Okay, knock out Incineroar. Take nothing from Moongeist Beam. I get some decent chip into Lunala there. The taunt does end, so they can Wide Guard now if they have it. Or Trick Room. And I'm in a not great spot here. I think I just have to Astral Barrage and hope they don't have Wide Guard. I don't like how often I say that in this format. And to be clear, it's probably player error. I don't see any reason to let them have their Orichalcum Pulse here. They do have Wide Guard. Okay. Well, nobody clicked it in the first two games, but here we go now. They Flame Charge Calyrex. Let's try this. Protect. Okay. I don't want to let Calyrex just get collision coursed or close combated, right? But they protect. Pelipper just gets taken out by +1 Moongeist Beam, and yeah, there's no getting back into this one, I think. Maybe I'm still faster somehow. Wouldn't bet on it. Wide Guard. No. Alright, and that close combat will also knock out Terapagos. This game was about as one-sided as it gets. I wanted to get Terapagos to at least one, but... yeah, I'm really not convinced by it. Feels like there must be a better second restricted for this team. I mean, I keep talking about the Flutter Mane synergy, but there are plenty of other restricted special attackers. Or even Specs Terapagos might be better than a Calm Mind set on this team. I think. I don't know. This is my third game ever with this team, right? And it did win a regional level event. A very small one, but a regional level event is a regional level event. So I'm not really trying to say that I know better than the creator of the team, but I'm not really... the Terapagos is not clicking for me. But I had a lot of fun with the Turbo, Flutter Mane, Shadow Rider stuff. I'm actually going to get one more. I'll get a fourth game with this team. Then we'll move on to the next. Okay, everybody has a fighting type restricted today. But this one also has Weezing and Regigigas. But here's the thing, right? Shadow Rider Calyrex gets to keep its ability in neutralizing gas. Does Terrapagos keep its ability in neutralizing gas? My guess is that it does, but I'm not 100% certain. It seems like the kind of ability that would not be switched off. And I think I've looked that up at some point. Let's just do this. Yeah, by the way, they also could have Wide Guard on Regigigas. But what can you do? I'll just bring the mode that I liked from the first 2 games. They lead Weezing Regigigas. Yeah, that's not great for me. I can taunt Weezing. I guess, like... Yeah, I don't see how this team creates great threats into big, bulky, normal types like this. But I guess big, bulky, normal types are not very common in the format. Except maybe opposing Terrapagos. How do you beat opposing Terrapagos with this team? Depending on the set, I guess you can taunt it with Flutter Mane. Maybe Thunder Wave it. Getting damage into it seems a little bit tricky, but I guess there are ways. Taunt, protect this turn. Okay. What does the Regigigas go for? Knock off into Calyrex. Great. Love that. I'm tempted to just fake Tears at Astral Barrage the Weezing, but I don't think it's worth throwing 99% of my Calyrex's hit points away. 174 of my Calyrex's hit points. I don't think so. Alright, let's go Pelipper. Pelipper might be more important. What is more important later in this game? Pelipper or Raging Bolt? I don't know. Probably about equal. And potentially letting them get their sun, but Terra Dark Weezing, but this is not a prankster taunt, so it still works. They know that. They Sludge Bomb Pelipper, they get poison. That said, they've made their Weezing weak to Moonblast, and they can't protect it now. And I guess I'll just look for damage on Regigigas. But I mean, even if the Weezing switches out, the Regigigas is instantly nerfed. Oh, it doesn't KO. I don't know why I assumed it would. Probably should have realized. Life Orb Regigigas. We actually got a lot of damage on it there. At the cost of 2 Pokemon, though. Don't really know that it was worth. Not really sure I can win with these 2 from here. Weezing's still taunted, though. So what I'll do is go for Pollen Puff into it, and I think the way this works is Calyrex goes first. If Weezing switches out or is knocked out, then Regigigas... Then Slow Start kicks in for Regigigas, and so I should be fine to just Thunderbolt that slot. They did switch. Makes sense. But yeah, that means Regigigas goes down. There's no more... I mean, I don't know if they had Wide Guard, but if they did, that's not threatened anymore. Alright, who's ready for a Shadow Rider Speed Tie? I could Terra Normal. The problem is then I lose to Groudon. Alright, just gonna Thunderclap and Astral Barrage. I probably win the game if I... Okay, they protect this turn. I was gonna say I probably win the game if I win the Speed Tie and lose the game if I don't. I think that's gonna be the same next turn, pretty much. They Flare Blitz, but have the Sash. They'll get knocked out by Recoil. Alright, this turn, I'm gonna Thunderbolt Weezing and protect my Calyrex, and then I think it just comes down to a Speed Tie after that. Astral Barrage, but it's Assault Vest, Raging Bolt. Knockout Weezing. Alright, here we go. It might knock... Actually, Raging Bolt might just win this game, independent of the Speed Tie. Let's see. I actually don't think I need to Thunderclap here, right? Because Astral Barrage won't KO Raging Bolt, so... As long as I break their Sash with my Astral Barrage, the Thunderbolt should be enough. They DC'd. Well, so much for a climactic ending to this battle. Maybe they'll come back, but they don't have much time to do it. Yeah. I was not feeling the Terrapagos on this team in the literally 4 games that I played. Can't really judge a team by 4 games. And every single opponent I got had either Zamazenta or Groudon, so maybe that's an issue too. But again, I think every team in this format, almost every team, has some kind of strong fighting type. That's not really that important. I wasn't really feeling the Terrapagos the one time I brought it. I did really enjoy the Flutter Mane Shadow Rider Turbo mode. That was a lot of fun. And Raging Bolt and Pelipper were actually pretty solid complementary pieces to it. So, not my favorite team I've ever tried in Reg I, but I definitely enjoyed it. And we'll move on now to, like I said, 4 more teams that did not win their events. The last one is maybe my favorite, but first, we got this one from Melbourne. Caught my eye, of course, because of the Origin form Giratina. So this is a Zamazenta Qianpao team, and they've loaded up on physical attackers with a lot of high speed and priority, exactly like I enjoy. Entei is a Pokemon that I've been kind of wanting to try for a while in Reg I. That's another reason that I wanted to try this team, because I often feel like on paper Entei should fit very well in these kinds of teams, but in past formats I haven't necessarily gotten the results that I thought I might with it. But yeah, we'll give it a go here. But rounding out the physical attacking core is this Origin form Giratina with Shadow Sneak, also pairing with Qianpao. I don't know how that's going to work. Also, it's a mixed Giratina, right? Because it has that Draco Meteor. I have no idea what the EV spread is supposed to be on this thing. I have invested it mainly in physical attack, fitting with the rest of the team. But I don't know. Maybe my Draco Meteors won't do as much as they're supposed to, but I just want to spam some physical attacks now. I had fun with those Astral Barrages into special defense drops. Now it's time to go to the other side of the dichotomy. And hey, Origin Giratina is not a Pokemon you see too often in major tournaments. Someone in Melbourne managed to put it on the map. Alright, we get this immediately. At least there's no wheezing on this team. How do I beat Dondozo? I don't know, maybe I can force it to Torterra with like Rillaboom and then crit it with Urshifu? Not the craziest idea. They have Sableye screens to start, probably, I think. It's gonna be screen Sableye. It doesn't have to be, it could be like Fake Out, Thunder Wave, Quash. You probably don't run both Thunder Wave and Quash, right? But yeah, they definitely have ways to mess with me. And I can't Extreme Speed Sableye. I can Aqua Jet it, Grassy Glide it, Shadow Sneak it. I don't really have to do any of that. Alright, I'm assuming it's Screen Sableye lead, probably with one of the restricteds. And I know what happens when you assume, but I think that's a pretty reasonable guess here. So I could do Qianpao and honestly Rillaboom or Urshifu. Probably one of those two. I think I want to bring Rillaboom to this game, so we'll go with that. I might only have room for one restricted here. Because I think Rillaboom or Urshifu as an attempt at a Dondozo answer is actually kind of reasonable. I guess I don't need Zamazenta in this game. I'll bring Giratina. They actually just lead with both restricteds, so I guess wrong on that, but still not a terrible lead matchup for me, I think. Calyrex should either switch or terrestrialized, right? So I'll protect Qianpao, see what it does, and Grassy Glide Kyogre. Maybe Fake Out Kyogre is a little more sound, but you know, I want to get damage on it, so I can't just throw off big boosted water spouts all day. Air Ghost, okay. That means I can Sucker Punch it pretty freely. And they can't terrestrialize their Calyrex now. Yeah, that did like nothing to Rillaboom. Astral Barrage will do more, obviously, because it's not dependent on HP, but after Terrain Recovery, Rillaboom is in a pretty decent spot here, as I can just Sucker Punch one of these. Grassy Glide did 63 to Kyogre, so I can Sucker Punch Calyrex. And Grassy Glide Kyogre. Okay. Okay, they switched to both of these. Alright, I probably want to preserve the Qianpao. How do I do that? Honestly... Wait, I might not need to, because I have the Shadow Sneak Giratina in the back. What's his Terra type? Fire? That might be workable. Yeah, honestly, Giratina might be my win con against their restricteds in the end game. I think for now I can just take advantage of the Sword of Ruin and try to get damage on this Dondozo. Not great damage. Oh, they've already used their Terra, so I can't bait that out because it's not available to them. Right. So if I'm critting through their boosts, it's with water type damage. Coaching isn't even useful here because they probably have Unaware. Is it better to close combat and pray that crits? I don't know the math. You know what? They have Rain up. Let's just Surging Strike. 14% per hit. That's not bad. Citrus Berry. Yeah, we're doing some damage here. They also just double missed Rock Slide. That's funny. That's unfortunate for them. And actually, all my worrying about the Dondozo, we actually just knock it out here, don't we? Nice. And Tatsugiri doesn't get to move this turn. Chien-Pao is still at full HP. Still has the Focus Sash intact, and both of their restricteds are ghost types. Tatsugiri is actually kind of awkward for me to deal with now because Urshifu is locked into Surging Strikes. But I should have enough left to win this, I think. I even could switch Urshifu out if I want. I'll Sucker Punch Kyogre. I don't need to. I can Surging Strike Kyogre. I'll Sucker Punch Tatsugiri here. Yeah. Oh, Kyogre faster than Urshifu. Okay, didn't really anticipate that. Yeah, would have preferred that they not knock out Chien-Pao there, but it's Life Orb Tatsugiri. So I can just protect Giratina. Is that too passive? What I'm thinking is let Tatsugiri knock itself out and beat Calyrex in the endgame. The downside is if Calyrex with a Grim Neigh boost beats Giratina. I don't know. I'll just try it. Let's just click some buttons here. I'll click Surging Strikes into Calyrex in case I get the chance, but of course I don't. Tatsugiri's still going for... Oh, Draco Meteor. Okay, nah, I lose. Unless it's not Sash Calyrex, and this just gets rid of it. Something went wrong here. I guess the Kyogre being faster than Scarf or Shifu. I just didn't anticipate and probably should have. It's not like it's that crazy. Oh well. Oh no, wait, I still win. They used Icy Wind instead of Draco Meteor this turn. So Giratina's fire typing actually saves it. And they forfeit because of course I just Shadow Sneak the Calyrex after that. So classic Slowpoke well game where I'm doomering toward the end. I'm gonna lose, we'll just play it out, and then suddenly I win somehow. That seems to happen a lot on this channel. Alright, Hard Trick Room. With only one restricted. Reg G, Hard Trick Room. How do I beat Ndidi? With Chien-Pao, probably. How do I beat Ndidi and Ice Rider Calyrex? I can lead Chien-Pao Entei and try to click Sacred Fire into Calyrex. I'm not sure it works, but if I can burn them, that would be excellent. I'll bring Zamazenta. How do I beat Torkoal? Honestly, probably with Giratina. As much as I might like to be able to change the terrain, it's not that important here, I don't think. They don't do that much with Psychic terrain on this team. Yeah, I actually think I need Giratina for Torkoal. Urshifu could probably beat it too, but in Trick Room and Sun, it's a little bit awkward. Okay, we'll just crunch Ndidi and try to Sacred Fire Calyrex. Please KO. It does, nice. With a crit. Sacred Fire just KOs the Calyrex. Alright, excellent start to this game. They forfeit. GG. That was a quick one. Might get a fourth with this team, but we'll see how the third one goes. Ooh, a Basculegion. I faced a Basculegion with one of my one of the Bologna teams that I used last week. Last week in upload time, like 2 days ago, real time. And the Basculegion got very in my head, and then they didn't even bring it. I'm not as afraid of Basculegion with this physical priority spam team, though. Champao. They could do Indeedee stuff in the lead. Champao. Zamazenta? I think that's pretty reasonable. Rillaboom to change the terrain. And to threaten Kyogre and Basculegion. Urshifu could be very good into this, but this is maybe the last game with the Giratina team. Let's bring Giratina. Okay, they lead Kyogre, Urshifu. That's a lot of damage immediately. Maybe I need to get Rillaboom on the board. I'll go for a Sucker Punch into Kyogre, because I always want to weaken that Water Spout if I can. And I will just hard switch. Will I? I'm giving up the Dauntless Shield boost if I do that, but it's not useful into these two anyway, so okay. So be it. Nice Sucker Punch damage. Champao will get knocked out here. Unfortunate, but I think damage into Kyogre is usually worthwhile. Rillaboom is a massive threat to these two. I'll go Giratina here. It does resist the Surging Strikes. And although this is a very offensive Giratina set, Giratina just naturally has a lot of HP, so probably a reasonable bulk. Let's go for Poltergeist into the Urshifu, and I don't think Kyogre is staying in. Woodhammer or U-turn? Woodhammer into the Kyogre slot. They hard switch in Indeedee, so that Poltergeist is going to do nothing, unfortunately. Twice over because it's a normal type. And I could have clicked U-turn. Twice over because it's a normal type and its item is gone. Like the U-turn. I can't even Shadow Sneak the Kyogre now. Guess I need to get Zamazenta back in. But yeah, I've positioned this pretty awkwardly. Yeah. Kind of goof this one up. So it goes sometimes. Which of these two is faster? Zamazenta, right? Yeah. Okay. I think that's good this turn. Because we can just knock out Indeedee with a Body Press and Kyogre with a Poltergeist. Okay. Alright. Might still be in this. Urshifu Calyrex. Might not be in this anymore. I can switch in Rillaboom, change the terrain, and Shadow Sneak Calyrex. In fact, I kind of think I have to, but then they probably just get 2 KOs and Grimnay. I don't think that... I think that loses. But I can't Shadow Sneak Calyrex if I don't change the terrain. I think I have to hope that they click Astral Barrage, Wide Guard, Poltergeist. Because I don't think I can switch... I don't think there's a way to switch Rillaboom in here that doesn't lose the game. Okay, they have enough Surging Strikes damage, it turns out, so... I guess I did need to switch Rillaboom in, but I still don't see the line from there. So, I mean, the real thing is probably just that I didn't have a way to win this. Gonna go a little bit more aggressive. Play to whatever out I might still have. Assume that they don't click Astral Barrage again when I just showed Wide Guard. Standing Force, and that knocks out Rillaboom, so yeah, I don't think I have a way to beat both of these at this point. Oh, and with the grassy terrain, the Behemoth Bash isn't even doing enough damage. That's probably an EVing mistake on my part. Alright, well, this game did not work out. Shadow Rider Kyogre, very threatening, restricted duo with a lot of strong supports around them here. And once again, opponent not even bringing the Basculegion. But Origin Giratina is pretty fun. This team is not anything that out there. But fun, yeah. Fun to see an underused restricted Pokemon thrive, I guess. I don't know. I don't really love relying on Shadow Sneak and Poltergeist for a lot of my damage. I don't think I'm a Giratina believer after these 3 games, but cool to see it do well at an event. And I didn't make much use of the Entei here, but that KO into an Ice Rider Calyrex was pretty fun. I can definitely see myself experimenting some more with Entei after this. We're going to move on now to a team from Bologna. This team has Torterra on it, Electric Seed Torterra with Miraidon and a Trick Room Core. So if you haven't been enjoying Leech Seed Ice Rider Calyrex, it's been messing with me a little bit too on the ladder. This team doesn't have that, but instead the Leech Seed is on Torterra. And Torterra is a bulky Trick Room mostly attacker with the Leech Seed option. I don't necessarily know what they were cooking, but we're going to give it a go. It also has Shell Armor, so it can't be crit. I don't know that matters much, but it certainly exists on this team. Otherwise, it's a Miraidon Ice Rider team. There is notably no Tailwind on this one, so I'll probably be leaning more on the Trick Room stuff with Torterra and Iron Hands. Interesting coverage with Torterra, Iron Hands, and Ice Rider. For supports, there's Grimmsnarl setting screens, and there is Quiver Dance Volcarona. So with Quiver Dance and Fiery Dance, it can snowball its special attack stat, and it does give this team some kind of fast option apart from Miraidon. But also, the Volcarona here is running Struggle Bug to weaken opposing special attackers. It's basically a bug-type Snarl, but with 100 accuracy. So, alright, Torterra time. Let's see. Ice Rider, Indeedee, Lunala, Flutter Mane, Ursaluna, and Incineroar. Their team looks very Trick Roomy itself. In fact, I don't know that I want to bring my own Trick Room against this. I actually think Volcarona is pretty solid here, right? Because it can immediately threaten Calyrex with a Fiery Dance. It can Struggle Bug into Lunala. And I probably do want to outspeed them. So, Grimmsnarl Volcarona. I don't think it's worth it to lead Miraidon because they have the Indeedee, but I will bring Miraidon. Will I bring Miraidon? Yeah, let's just bring the Restricteds. No Torterra this game, unfortunately. Okay, they lead Flutter Mane, Ursaluna. I'll go straight for Reflect. Flutter Mane is probably not as offensively threatening into Volcarona as Ursaluna is. And Quiver Dance. They might protect Ursaluna. Oh, Flutter Mane. Okay. I mean, I can't really say, whoa, that's nuts, who uses that or something, when I just used it a couple teams ago. That does make things tougher for me here. I don't think I want to switch here, so I guess let's double into Ursaluna, actually. Is my Terra type on Grimmsnarl? Ghost? Double into Ursaluna, try to remove that as an offensive threat. It's also Thunderwave Flutter Mane. So very like the one from the Durban winning team. Wonder if they have fake Tears as well. Volcarona narrowly survives, and we do get rid of the Ursaluna, but Volcarona is paralyzed. I don't think that +2 special attack is about to be put to very good use. They got Ice Rider here. I mean, I'll end this Fiery Dance if they let me. Terra Fire. They will let me, but it wouldn't do much, but fully paralyzed anyway. Okay. Not a great start to the game. I do have my 2 Restricteds in the back, but I think I Terra Fairy the Miraidon immediately. They don't have Ursaluna anymore, so locking into Electro Drift is not the end of the world. But Terra Fairy for the defensive profile from that Terra type. And I guess I Electro Drift the Ice Rider. Even though I think that might kind of cook me against Sash Flutter Mane. Yeah. I think I have to be aggressive into the Ice Rider here. Do you have any chance of getting back into this? Do knock that out. It is Sash Flutter Mane. And their last is Lunala. Okay. I might be able to win. It seems conceivably, possibly true. Let's see if they let me KO their Flutter Mane here. Would be nice. They Thunder Wave Miraidon, but they miss. That of course could work because it's a fairy type now. But yeah, lucky me, bailed out by that miss. Well, Electro Drift and High Horde. Electro Drift and Glacial Lance Lunala here. My brain went cover for Wide Guard for a second, but why? If it's clicking Wide Guard, it can't do anything else. Actually just takes the KO on Calyrex. I have 2 more turns of Electric Terrain. Even if it protects here, they'd have to get a double protect to stall out the terrain. And they don't go for that, so... yeah, kind of saved there by the Thunder Wave miss, but so it goes sometimes. Let's see if I can get Torterra into a game in these next 2. Zacian, Kyogre, Rillaboom, Tornadus, Urshifu, Landorus. Okay. This is where it's kind of awkward to not have Tailwind on this team, right? Because I would like to blast through some of these Pokemon with Miraidon, but it'll be outsped by the Zacian. And maybe by Scarf Kyogre. Some people are running Scarf Kyogre on ladder, like that opponent earlier. I might be better off going for a Trick Room plan here, although the Ice Rider... Well, I say it's not super well positioned. It's not good into the restricteds, but it's good into a lot of the rest of their team. I also don't have Redirection to support a Trick Room setup. There's no Rage Powder on the Volcarona, no Indeedee on this team. I guess I just go Screens, Trick Room if that's what I'm doing. Alright, let's just do that. Screens, Trick Room, Iron Hands, Torterra. And you know what? Torterra's stabs are actually super effective into both of their restricteds, so it could complement the Ice Rider very nicely in this matchup. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Do I lose immediately to this? What's my Terra type on Calyrex? Water? Oh, no, I don't lose immediately to this. Nice. There's Steel Landorus. Okay. Behemoth Blade Grimmsnarl, and... I don't get Trick Room. Taunt Landorus? I don't know if I've seen that one recently. Good tech, I guess. Well, better hope the screens really come through for me in this game. Let's start fishing for Chilling Nay boosts. I might have preferred that Sandsear Storm hit the Grimmsnarl. Now that I have screens up, it'd be nice to get another attacker in. Calyrex took a lot of damage there. I can Thunder Wave their Zacian here, actually, so it's good that Grimmsnarl's still around. But what do I do with Calyrex? Do I just let it go down? Or do I switch to Iron Hands? I think I sack Calyrex. I don't know, I'm too uncomfortable switching sometimes when it is the right play, but I don't think I want my Pokemon on the back taking damage. I think I'm going to need them to bulk through things since the opponent denied my Trick Room this game. I don't know. I don't feel good about the way that turn just played out. And of course I have no Terra now, so I can't protect Torterra from anything. Just throw a Wild Charge at Kyogre, and well, I do have one way to protect Torterra for one turn here. Torterra's physically bulky. Could probably take a hit from Zacian, but of course, despite being a Grass-type starter, it doesn't resist that Water Spout. Nah. They got me playing desperately there, just trying to throw big attack at thing, get rid of it, so that it doesn't knock me out. And yeah, they took advantage there. Drain. Try to keep this reasonably healthy. I don't want a Headlong Rush. But I have to do something. I'm gonna Leech Seed Zacian. That's probably a bad play. But it is a rough position here. I think just them denying the Trick Room turn 1 kind of made this a nightmare the rest of the way. Maybe there was a way to preserve Calyrex, but even then I don't think they would let me set the Trick Room up later. They got too much damage into it. Well, you see Kyogre. That's not the worst thing. Now, I think I can low kick this slot. That'll catch Zacian if it switches back in too. And protect. And I'm trying to prevent that from just ruining Torterra's day. Easier said than done. Ah, the terrain recovery saves the Kyogre. Do they switch it out here, though, to avoid dropping to Leech Seed? It seems plausible, doesn't it? I think it seems plausible. Are they going to Ice Beam Torterra here, or are they going to switch Kyogre out? And do I want to go for a double protect, or do I want to go for Leech Seed into Zacian, or do I want to go for Headlong Rush into Zacian? I say we ball Headlong Rush into Zacian. Okay. Well, Torterra survived the Ice Beam, though, so I will get this damage here. Goodbye, Zacian. And all of a sudden, it's a 1v2 against their Rillaboom. Hang on. Drain Punch. Protect. Torterra is actually kind of useless in this position, though. But Grassy Terrain ends here. Drain Punch does enough. Headlong Rush. They take the KO on Torterra, but that means they lose to Iron Hands. We did it! Whoa, Iron Hands is so good. Torterra was not that good there, but it did enough, I guess. Actually, the KO on Zacian was pretty exciting. Torterra knocking out Zacian was clutch there. Tanking an Ice Beam, by the way, to do it. For a starter, Torterra pretty bulky. Tanking an Ice Beam from Kyogre and knocking out that Zacian. Alright, I retract all Torterra slander. We'll do the apology form eventually, maybe. Torterra was actually important in that game. Terapagos, Amoonguss, Cornerstone Mask, Ogerpon, Shadow Rider, Calyrex, Rillaboom, in Incineroar. They've agreed to open team sheets. Sure. Okay. I mean, my team's from a major tournament anyway. Do I Trick Room against this? I don't know. They have Amoonguss. But I need my big physical attackers to power through the Terapagos, right? Or at least that's kind of the most obvious way to do it. I can bring Miraidon, and then I don't have to worry about Spore, but that's not a great reason to bring a whole Pokemon by itself. It does also power up the Iron Hands. What I can't do is bring every Pokemon that I have, which I kind of want to right now. Because Volcarona could be good here. Volcarona is very good into a lot of their team. But I think it's just Miraidon, Calyrex, threaten damage, try to get Trick Room up, get the Electric Terrain. They have Rillaboom though. Maybe the Electric Terrain's not that important here. They also have 3 Electric Resists. Okay, well, I'm almost out of time and I haven't developed another idea. So, this is what it is. Don't love seeing the Incineroar in the lead position like that. What can you do? You can try to Volt Switch Terapagos and protect Calyrex around a possible Fake Out. That's what you can do. Fake Out into Miraidon. I guess that was kind of obvious, yeah. Calm Mind Terapagos. Volt Switch. Trick Room. No Terra Water. Maybe I'll regret. But they go Stellar immediately. So Calyrex was probably taking a super effective hit here either way. I think the Assault Vest Iron Hands can come in here, can threaten a Drain Punch into Terapagos once Trick Room is up. They Will-O-Wisp Calyrex and they miss. Lucky me. And now I don't want to let this Incineroar hang around, do I? Even though the Calyrex is at +2, I think prioritize getting rid of the Incineroar so it can't burn my 3 physical attackers. They switch it out. Probably should have seen that coming. But big Glacial Lance into Rillaboom. Gone. Goodbye, Rillaboom. Incineroar probably coming back in. Intimidating the Iron Hands. Don't love that. Maybe I just sack Torterra here, honestly. Sorry, Torterra. Take out Torterra. And Earth Power it. Okay. Alright, Torterra's staying alive. Now I can target a Headlong Rush into Incineroar. And I don't have to mess around with high horsepower. I can just Glacial Lance. Doesn't do as much damage as I might like to Calyrex, but there... I keep doing that to Terrapagos. But there goes Incineroar. Torterra will drop to a Terra Starstorm, but as far as I'm concerned, it's done its job in this game. That's 2 games in a row that Torterra just sniped a clutch KO with... this is the last turn of Trick Room. That's really awkward. That Torterra just sniped a quick KO with... I say they protect Terrapagos here. That Torterra just sniped a quick KO with... Headlong Rush. There we go. Into a powerhouse of an opponent like Incineroar or Hisuian. Do I lose now? I didn't really make the most of my Trick Room turns there. I think I just need Iron Hands to land this. If Iron Hands lands this Drain Punch, maybe this is still winnable. Okay. Took those attacks pretty well. Okay, perhaps I needed to low kick. Alright. We're gonna sack something here. Is it Ice? They might protect the Terrapagos. Hang on. Might protect the Terrapagos and get what damage they can with the Shadow Rider, in which case we don't sack something here, we Terra Water, Glacial Lance. Goal is to knock out the Calyrex. I was wrong, they did not protect the Terrapagos. I thought they might do that just to more smoothly get rid of the Iron Hands. I had the KO available into Terrapagos there, I didn't take it. And I don't think Miraidon ever beats these, not with the Terrapagos at +2. Ah! There's a protect. Double protect. Scouting what I lock into, I guess. And getting Leftovers recovery on Terrapagos. Yeah, alright, GG to this opponent. They got me. I think that's now 3 games with Torterra. Torterra put in some work, though. Win or lose. It did a decent job. We can call it there for it. Team number 4 is also from Bologna. This one is scary. Like for the user. Like it must take some real guts to lock this one in for a regional level event, because you have the Hisuian Lilligant and the Groudon duo is mainly what I'm talking about here. Hisuian Lilligant with the Chlorophyll will outspeed like everything and coach Groudon, but yeah, most of the time either you're clicking Sleep Powder, which has a 25% chance to miss, or you're coaching Groudon and you're clicking Precipice Blades, which has a, 15% chance to miss, I think? Or you could be clicking Stone Edge. Scary stuff, but definitely a fun and different team that got my attention. And this Assault Vest Groudon should be able to sit on the field for quite a while. And with Terra Fire, of course, it can't even be burned. So honestly, maybe it just sits around long enough that you don't have to worry about Precipice Blades misses a lot of the time, because you just get so many kicks at the can that sooner or later they're almost certainly going to land. That might be part of the theory of this team. We also have Chi-Yu, nicely complementing Groudon, throwing off those fast special attacks with the Fire Stab boosted by the Sun. Chi-Yu also can complement the Shadow Rider Calyrex, because with the Beads of Ruin, it specs Shadow Rider, by the way, so with the Beads of Ruin, you're getting a ton of damage with those specs Astral Barrage, Shadow Ball, Expanding Force, possibly in Psychic Terrain with the Indeedee. And then you also have the Pollen Puff option into Groudon, so Shadow Rider probably wants to attack most of the time, but it can, if it wants, commit itself to helping Groudon stick around instead. So for all that I said that this team is kind of scary, because I zeroed in on the Lilligant and the Groudon immediately, and oh no, inaccurate moves. This is a really cool team that has a lot of interesting synergies that should be a lot of fun. Just have to hope we land our moves. And Whimsicott is the last Pokemon doing Whimsicott stuff, but yeah. Very cool overlapping synergies here. Drought, Chlorophyll, Fire typing, Beads of Ruin, strong spec special attacker that benefits from Psychic Terrain, and then you have Redirection helping the Groudon sit around longer, but also Groudon can just sit around kind of forever anyway with the Assault Vest, with coaching. Should be a lot of fun. Let's see. Whimsicott, Miraidon, Ice Rider, Farigiraf, Annihilate, and Iron Hands. Annihilate scares me every time I see it now. I'm always expecting Scarf, Final Gambit. How do I deal with that with this team? Scarf Chiyu is not necessarily faster, right? I'm running Modest. I do have Terra Ghost, though. I could just do Indeedee Calyrex lead, actually. It's not great into Farigiraf stuff. What do I do? I could lead Groudon Lilligant, actually. And just go for Sleep Powder into things, but that kind of... Oh, yeah, that has issues with Miraidon because Electric Terrain denies sleep. That's another good reason for Indeedee to be on this team, that it changes the terrain. But I still don't love that in a lead position. I'm gonna try this. These are the Pokemon that got my attention right off the bat with this team. We're just gonna do it. Let's go. And I'll bring these two in the back. Just throw offense at them. Okay, they lead Whimsicott, Annihilate. It could be Tailwind, Final Gambit. Of course, Groudon can't protect, so I'm actually going to hard switch to Calyrex in that slot. But I will go for the Sleep Powder into Annihilate anyway. If they Final Gambit the Calyrex, then all is well. And they do. Nice. Lilligant's probably not that valuable in this position at this point. Although, I guess just throwing off a Leaf Blade into something could be good. Terra Ghost as well. I could Terra Ghost and Astral Barrage. Forget Leaf Blade. We're going to switch to Chiyu and just get maximum Astral Barrage damage here. Because whether or not that's optimal, should be a fun time. Goodbye, Annihilate. Almost goodbye, Whimsicott. Not quite after the light screen. But yeah, now I have Scarf Chiyu in, Specs, Shadow Rider. This opponent doesn't have Wide Guard anywhere on their team. They haven't used their Terra yet, so it could be some interesting Terra type on this. But then still, what does it do here? Terra Ice? Okay, I didn't see that coming. They don't get the Moonblast drop, but good effort fishing for it there. With Tailwind, they actually outspeed and knock out my Shadow Rider, so I don't get a second big Astral Barrage, but I do get Lilligant back in here. And I actually think it's worth it to switch Chiyu out, preserve it for an endgame against Miraidon. No, Assault Vest Groudon beats Miraidon. Let's just go. Protect Lilligant so I can go for a coaching. Actually, I should have just taken the Leaf Blade KO on the Ice Rider there, I think. Oh well. I can do that this turn. High horsepower. Maybe I should click Precipice Blades because I'm not a coward. But maybe I'm a little bit of a coward. Leaf Blade the Calyrex. Dazzling Gleam knocks Lilligant down to its sash, but only does a quarter to Groudon. And yeah, Precipice Blades would have been cool there, but high horsepower will close this one out. That was a relatively high-rated opponent for one of these videos on this channel. And Lilligant, Groudon, Shadow Rider, Chiyu, just pick them apart. That might be my favorite game so far today, but still more to do, of course. This person is a Chestnut. Am I playing Paul Ruiz? I hope not. Maybe I should hope so, because it'd be cool to play a world champion independent of the result. Okay. Miraidon, Ice Rider, Chestnut, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, Volcarona. Scary team. But, can I just lead Groudon Lilligant and, like, coach? What is stopping me? Probably something. I'm bringing the same four. Let's go. Okay, Miraidon, Grimmsnarl lead. They can't Thunder Wave Groudon. They can Thunder Wave Lilligant if they want. I don't know if that's optimal for them, but it's an option. Sleep Powder does nothing for me here. I didn't bring in Indeedee. They have Electric Terrain up. So it's coaching time. They could fake out Lilligant. Is that really what they're going to prioritize here? It's coaching time. Precipice Blades. They faked out Lilligant. No. I thought they were going to set a screen. Well, Lilligant survives the turn, though. Ooh. Chestnut is going to take this. Electric Seed Chestnut is going to take that Precipice Blades very nicely, though. And I'm hesitant to Terastallize the Groudon because they have the Miraidon in the back still. But I'll just Coach. And I could Heat Crash Chestnut. I can see it Terastallizing. I'll Precipice Blades this turn. Okay, no Terra on the Chestnut. Is it Leech Seed? Yeah. That's rough. But what do they bring in now? Probably not Miraidon, right? Ice Rider. Huh. What do I do? Coaching Heat Crash? Coaching Stone Edge? They don't have Reflect Up. Coaching Precipice Blades. Let's go. I missed the Ice Rider. That's the one I wanted to hit. No. But Groudon survives the Glacial Lance with the 2 coaching boosts, and now I can go Chi-Yu, I guess. Fun fact, Chestnut gets Wide Guard, so Astral Barrage is not very tempting here. Nor is Shadow Ball because Chestnut gets Bulletproof. Chestnut is actually kind of a problem for Shadow Rider. I can click Expanding Force into it, but then that's not useful into Ice Rider, so I'll go Chi-Yu here. Again, though, I'm hesitant to click Heat Wave because Chestnut gets Wide Guard. I can Dark Pulse. I can Overheat. Overheat and try to win with Shadow Rider. Only thing is a possible Terra here. Okay, but what is a Terra type that will help it with Overheat? Fire, Dragon, Water. None of those want to take this. It just protects. They can switch Miraidon in now if they want. Maybe I target the Overheat into Chestnut this time because I just targeted into Ice Rider. They might think I want to do that again, which I do, but that's why I might not want to do it. I might not want to do it because I might want to do it. You know what I'm saying. They Terra Fire the Chestnut. I thought it would be Water, but it gets knocked out by Precipice Blades there as the Overheat misses. But now, Chestnut's gone. I can click Astral Barrage. And I have Chi-Yu and Shadow Rider against Ice Rider and Miraidon. Kind of want to Overheat the Ice Rider, knock it out, get a single target Astral Barrage, but I think they'll anticipate that. And also, if I get damage on Miraidon, then this position gets a lot tidier. And I haven't Terastallized yet, so I can go Terra Ghost for maximum Astral Barrage damage. Yeah, they protect the Ice Rider. Overheat chips Miraidon. Astral Barrage does not KO. Parabolic Charge. Probably wins them the game. Yeah. Yeah, they got me with that. That's fun tech. Parabolic Charge. I'm never ready for it, even though it's actually reasonably common. It has boomed me many times, and this is one of those times. Well, GG to that opponent. They got me good with that Miraidon set there, but yeah, really fun to see a Chestnut, and I'm still really enjoying this team. And of course, one more game with this. Ice Rider, Miraidon, Iron Hands, Volcarona, Grimmsnarl, or Shifu. What do you say I just go Lilligant, Groudon, Coaching, Precipice Blades, Coaching, Precipice Blades, Coaching, Precipice Blades, Astral Barrage, Heat Wave. Let's do it. Sorry, Aditi and Whimsicott, you're not getting any games. Yeah, we just play offense here today. Well, I say that. I haven't shown the last team for today yet. There's still one more. And we just play offense. Might not really hold up. Let's just say that. Alright, Grimmsnarl, Ice Rider. They can fake out Lilligant. Last time I called that the opponent wouldn't, and they did. I don't think yeah, you know what? I don't think I need to preserve Groudon's ground typing to beat Miraidon. I think I can protect Terrifier. Precipice Blades here. Maybe I should Stone Edge the Ice Rider. That could be fun, but I don't know. Stone Edge is scary to click. I mean, Precipice Blades kind of is too, but that's the thing for this. This team must be such an adrenaline rush to pilot at a tournament because there's a lot of room to worry about missing your moves, but also this team has so much turbo offense with some really unusual Pokemon too. It must be so much fun when it works in a major tournament setting. I got the call wrong again. I could have just coached there, but I can do it here. But I can also Sleep Powder. Ooh, I can Sleep Powder something. I don't think I need to. Yeah, this team must be an absolute blast to pilot at a major tournament. Even if it does take some guts to lock it in. Okay, Terrifier. Ooh, Terrifier Ice Rider. That might not be the play right now. Oh, it survives the Precipice Blades. It does a lot back with high horsepower, actually. That might have been the play. Alright, if I land my Precipice Blades here, I'm in good shape, I think. I still have to beat Miraidon in the back, probably, but Chi-Yu and Shadow Rider should both outspeed. They actually switch out to Urshifu, so I get a free shot here, and I miss the Precipice Blades. Absolutely classic. Do not get the Grimmsnarl. Miraidon now. I should be able to go for a Leaf Blade into Urshifu, right? And it's not like there's a ton else for Lilligant to do here. And Groudon's just going to click Precipice Blades until it drops. If that loses me the game because I should have repositioned, what can you do? It's the Assault Vest Groudon coaching team. We just click Precipice Blades. And then we click Precipice Blades again, and then we drop to Electro Drift. And then we click Astral Barrage. Surging Strikes into Lilligant. Did they think I would switch? Maybe. Alright, so I want to set up to win with... It doesn't really matter, actually. Winning with Chi-Yu is just fine here. They've already used their Terra. They can't Terra Fairy. So I think I just Calyrex here. Leaf Blade, Astral Barrage. Get damage on Miraidon. They switch out to their Calyrex. I could have It would have been more efficient than to Leaf Blade Miraidon. Oh well. Actually, do I lose to Urshifu now? Quite possibly, because the sun ended, so Lilligant doesn't have Chlorophyll active anymore. Well, I think at some point in this game I kind of stopped thinking about the position and started just clicking buttons. Probably when I was saying, what we do here is Precipice Blades, Precipice Blades, Precipice Blades, Precipice Blades, and yeah, kind of punished for it. Alright, well... I don't know if I'd be brave enough to take this to a major, but... this might be my favorite team I've seen in a while. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully the same attitude will hold up for the last team today from the Utrecht special event. I don't think this team made day 2. I think it went 5-3, but I could be misremembering. I've just had this paste open in my browser for a while. But I scrolled far enough and I saw Mewtwo and Eternatus and I thought, alright, let's give it a go. So it's the fake out duo of Incineroar and Rillaboom. It's Spite Flutter Mane. So we're really using the limited power points in this format against our opponents. It's outspeeding things, surviving hits with Focus Sash, getting rid of their PP. We have Ting Lu to weaken opposing special attackers. Incineroar with Intimidate to weaken opposing physical attackers. A little bit awkward actually, the Ting Lu, when both the restricteds are special, but you just have to position it right. And then Cosmic Power Eternatus. Terra Poison, I realized, because they're running Black Sludge on it. So if you turn off your poison typing, the Black Sludge hinders instead of helping. And I guess that's because the leftovers are on Mewtwo. I feel like there probably was a way to give Eternatus leftovers and Mewtwo a different item, but honestly, I don't know what leftovers Mewtwo is even. I don't really see the vision with leftovers Mewtwo here. Maybe I had, because like, so I used Mewtwo at one point in Reg I. I took it to one of the global challenges, and it was very bad. But like, Mewtwo needs basically max special attack to almost do enough damage to keep up in this format. And of course, it's in a tricky speed tier as well, just a little bit slower than Miraidon and Koraidon and them. So I've gone offensive with the EVs on this Mewtwo, but then it's not really taking much advantage of the leftovers. I don't know why leftovers are on Mewtwo, but anyway, life do Mewtwo to help keep Eternatus healthy. And because it has leftovers, Eternatus is stuck with Black Sludge, so it has Terra Poison. It's a reasonable defensive type. Obviously, it doesn't fix the grounded psychic weaknesses that Eternatus has for being a poison type in the first place. That feels like kind of an awkward, contorted team building decision. But also, both of the restricteds have pressure. VGC players sometimes talk about pressure like it's functionally not an ability. I don't think that's true. I think pressure is better than people say. Because people say that it's absolutely no good at all. But it's not much better than that. But on this team, Spite Flutter Mane, Spite Ting Lu, and then pressure on both restricteds. That's what this team does, right? That's actually a core strategy for this team now that I'm looking it over. Just wear out the opponent's power points quickly, and then they don't have much to deal with Eternatus. That, I think, is the basic strategy here. And then Incineroar and Rillaboom can lend support as needed. So we're going to give it a go. We're going to try to get rid of my opponent's attacks so that Eternatus can sit there and run through their teams. Eternatus' only attack is Sludge Bomb, so it loses to Steel types, by the way. And I don't even have a ground type attack on Ting Lu. I have Aura Sphere on Mewtwo, so that's something. Miraidon, Ice Rider, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Landorus, Glimmora. How do I not lose immediately if I just throw Eternatus at them? How do I throw Eternatus at them and not just lose immediately? Honestly, probably what I want to bring these four, because they all have a way to deplete PP, and that's really funny. Maybe I need Incineroar in this matchup, but I don't want to, so I'm going to do this. I can switch Ting Lu in to deal with the Miraidon and the Landorus, but if I'm facing the Ice Rider, I threaten it offensively with Flutter Mane, I guess is the idea here. And again, I have no way to turn off Eternatus' ground weakness, so maybe I don't switch Ting Lu in immediately. Maybe I Moonblast and Protect. They switched the Landorus out. That's interesting. Maybe they were worried about like an Icy Wind or something. Getting damage on the Ice Rider is good, because that makes Ting Lu's job easier. I also want to Terra Stellar the Flutter Mane before I click the Shadow Ball, but I think that's not the right idea. I'm gonna risk a Cosmic Power in front of this Ice Rider. Or Water. Yeah, it's not as much damage as I'd like. I do get a special defense drop. Leech Seed. Of course it's Leech Seed Ice Rider. Leech Seed Ice Rider is a nightmare for this team. Can I Spite that, though? No, because I'll probably Protect it. Of all the things to run into, game one here, Leech Seed Ice Rider. Alright. Well, if I think it's going to Protect, then it's not really useful to attack it this turn. Let's get Eternatus off the field. I don't think I can let Eternatus just be seated. Guessed wrong. They went for Glacial Lance. Okay. Moonblast, Psystrike. I'm probably tunnel visioning too much into getting rid of this Ice Rider, but I really do need to do that if I'm going to win with Eternatus. switch it out. But we'll get big damage into Miraidon here. In fact, that Moonblast almost KOs. The Side Strike will finish the job. So getting rid of their Miraidon is not the worst thing. And you know what? Mewtwo getting a little bit of recovery with those leftovers. Actually kind of nice to see. Don't know if it really matters at all to the position, but there's the Ice Rider. It has gotten rid of its special defense drop, unfortunately. But I just want to get damage into it where I can, you know? Yeah, it is too tanky for this team. Oh, it narrowly survives there. Mortal Spin on the Glamora. And I get Trick Room up. How do I deal with that? Not like I can just throw Tinglu at it. I mean, if I had... So it's Terra Bug Tinglu. If I had Terastallized it earlier, then I could just throw it at the problem, but I haven't. And they just get to +2 with the Glacial Lance here. But did I have a way to deny that? I mean, maybe Tinglu could have taken a hit, but then what? Maybe Terrabug Tinglu takes a hit now. Wouldn't bet on it. But it might still be possible to win if it does. That, of course... I was going to say that, of course, means that I can't Terrastallize Eternatus into its defensive Terra type, but it's Terra Poison. It's not going to help with the Landorus anyway. No, this is GG. Because now I have to leave Eternatus open to Wait, I can Whirlwind. I'm going to go for a double protect and a Whirlwind into Calyrex. Maybe there's still a chance. No. GG. They crit Tinglu. I don't know that they even needed to. Alright. Next game. Shadow Rider. Okay, this looks like the team that won Bologna. But maybe there's some kind of trick. Maybe they've changed the sets. Who can say? This puts out so much damage. How does Terra Poison Eternatus go 5-3 in Utrecht? Okay, it's actually a really funny team concept, and I could see it catching some opponents off guard. It's not that unbelievable, but it feels a little silly for sure. I'm just going to spam the same 4 Pokemon until it works. That's my plan here. If that takes like 10 games, so be it. It's going to be a long video anyway. Alright, what order do I want to put them in? Bop, bop. Nope. Bop, bop. Because Tinglu nerfs their Ice Rider, Shadow Rider. Tinglu nerfs their Shadow Rider. And if it's this, their Poison Eternatus is not necessarily that scared. Right? A hard switch Flutter Mane in. Because Tinglu's not very useful in this position. It could Whirlwind something and that could be funny. You can get rid of the Zamazenta's defense boost with that, but it's so vulnerable to the... Okay, we get crit immediately. But Zamazenta goes for a useless body press into Flutter Mane, so we take that. Just recover here, and Zamazenta's a problem because Eternatus just loses to Steel types. You might recall. Can I Moonblast it? Down to try. I guess Eternatus doesn't lose to Steel types if it makes them struggle. Actually, that could be an out. It's of course it's Taunt Chien-Pao on this team. I forgot. Why does everyone have a Terra Poison Eternatus counter? When will the meta be kind to Terra Poison Eternatus? Over for a Sucker Punch here. Nice, they went for it. That does so much damage. Poison it, poison it. Yes, let's go. No more Sword of Ruin and no more Sucker Punch. They can fake me out with Incineroar, but they can't fake out Flutter Mane. They can fake out Eternatus, and they do. Did they take the KO on Flutter Mane here? Good. That means not more damage into Eternatus. Taunt ends. Alright, huge recover coming up, and I'll go Mewtwo and try to Aura Sphere the Zamazenta. I could actually click Life Dew with Mewtwo, but I need the Zamazenta gone. Air Dragon. Okay. Well, it survives the Aura Sphere, but it's not immune to Sludge Bomb anymore. They get rid of my Black Sludge, but I still have Life Dew support. Cosmic Power. Life Dew. I don't think the Zamazenta just lets me KO it here. Maybe it does, though. And I come out of this feeling silly. Yeah. They'll probably knock out Mewtwo here with a knockoff. No, they go Flare Blitz into Eternatus. That doesn't do a whole lot for them. Nope. Cosmic Power. If they'll let me KO the Zamazenta, then I'm happy to do that here. Goodbye. Now they take the KO on Mewtwo. But yeah, Mewtwo lasted just as long as I needed as I get Ting Lu in here. Just click payback into their Calyrex, I guess. What else am I doing with Ting Lu in this position? What item is on Ting Lu? Safety goggles, right? Okay. Goodbye, Calyrex. I was going to click Spite there, but they forfeit. Alright, it actually only took 2 games to make this mode work, so if you were doubting, don't you feel silly now. And since that was only 2 games, I'll get 1 more, and that'll be the last game of the video, and possibly the last tournament team game of the season on this channel. Let's go. Let's get a good one. A Groudon. Alright, excellent. Good vibes around Groudon this video. Groudon, Mewtwo, Flutter Mane, Volcarona, Iron Hands, and Farigiraf. The only problem with seeing a Groudon here is that it kind of just counters this Eternatus, but we're gonna try it anyway. Let's go. Same Pokemon again. Try to beat the Groudon somehow. Air Electric immediately on the Miraidon. They do let me get some good chip into the Groudon there. Discharge. Uh-oh. Eternatus, dodge it! No. Eternatus probably drops the Discharge now. That's not great. But I can get Ting Lu in here. The Miraidon's probably locked in. I can go Ting Lu. Are you ready for this? Protect Whirlwind. Get that Groudon out of here. Buy time for Eternatus to recover. Helping Hand Groudon, that's cool. I don't really know what that was supposed to do for them this turn, but goodbye Groudon. Oh no, they got Iron Hands. They can fake out and discharge, and Eternatus probably still... Actually, Eternatus probably... I don't know. I don't know what happens to Eternatus there. Get this Miraidon out of here and go for a double protect. I don't get the double protect. Fake out. Discharge. GG! Alright, that's... Well... so much for this team. That was pretty anticlimactic. Maybe I'll get one more game. I don't think Mewtwo is powering through this one from here. Drain Punch on the hands. It's still in Psy Strike range though, but that payback didn't do a whole lot. Maybe I need to Life Dew here, but gotta get damage somehow. Nice crit. Alright, I'll get one more with this team. try to get the Eternatus going against not Groudon. Are you serious? Is this a real game that we're playing right now? Eternatus versus Eternatus? Alright, let's go. Let's do it. May the strongest Eternatus win. Yeah, this is definitely last game of the video. Oh, I'm starting to lose the plot. Light Screen, Moonblast, and a Grimmsnarl. Cosmic Power. Cosmic Power. I think I'm going to click Spite into Eternatus next because it might come down to PP in the end game. This gives me a nice advantage in that. Wait, they can Spirit Break Eternatus. Or do that. Okay. I don't think Eternatus doing damage is the key to this one. Rillaboom. They toxic the Flutter Mane. Good thing I'm running Terra Poison Eternatus. I couldn't turn off the poison immunity, poison status immunity if I wanted. It will spite that too. What, are you gonna fake out me? I don't think that really does anything for you this turn. Oh, they did. And a crit too. Whoops. Fire Spin Eternatus. Okay, but that's gonna have like no damage into my Eternatus. Unless it's... Last move is Dynamax Cannon. But... So what if it is? Click Spite and Cosmic Power. There we go. Now it feels like this Flutter Mane is playing the way it's supposed to. Goodbye, Fire Spin PP. Just keep clicking Cosmic Power here. They U-turn the Flutter Mane. I'm surprised they're not, you know, taking damage into Flutter Mane for real in like any of these turns. They're gonna fake out Eternatus again. I guess I can protect around that and click Spite. I'm actually depleting a lot of PP. Unless I get crit by Dynamax Cannon or something. They didn't bring their Ice Rider. We've seen all 4 Pokemon now. They tried to just Eternatus stall the Eternatus stall. But mine's kind of turbo Eternatus stall with the Spite spam. They can knock off my Black Sludge. That's a problem, actually. But they'll set Grassy Terrain back up sooner or later. Actually take the knockoff KO and Flutter Mane there. Okay. Do I go Mewtwo? I think I do. I think I go Mewtwo and Aurasphere Incineroar. And protect Eternatus, and I might even be able to avoid Eternatus taking a knockoff. I could also Terra Dragon Mewtwo, but I still don't know whether they have Dynamax Cannon. Maybe they have Recover, the way they're playing. I could Terra Dragon Mewtwo. For the sake of taking a knockoff back. They still have Light Screen up. Maybe this was the wrong time to bring Mewtwo in. I'm gonna protect... No, I'm not. We're gonna attack Terra Dragon. Let's go. Terra Dragon Mewtwo. Bet they didn't see that coming. That doesn't do enough. Toxic. Okay. They go for knockoff into Eternatus. I can Aurasphere and Sludge Bomb Incineroar here. And if they let me have it, then I avoid the knockoff into my Eternatus, probably. Oh, I actually just crit them with the Aura Sphere. I mean, so let's go. That's awesome, but I could have just clicked another Cosmic Power with my Eternatus. I'm going to go... Well, I have to wait for them to make a decision first. I'm going to go Ting Lu here. Preserve the Mewtwo for now. And yeah, we are playing to the Eternatus endgame, but I've clicked a bunch of spites into their Eternatus, and they have not done that back, so... This is such a silly team. But hey, it did as well at a major tournament as I ever have. They land a Fire Spin into Ting Lu, so Ting Lu is trapped now, and they can Toxic Stall it. But again, they can never Toxic Stall my Eternatus. Are you ready for this? We're going to click Spite. While we still have Ting Lu. Just keep clicking Spite into their Eternatus. Okay, yep, they Toxic Ting Lu. But goodbye some of your Toxic PP. And I guess in this position, I just keep clicking Cosmic Power because this is just going to be a... Actually, let's Sludge Bomb Grimmsnarl. Might as well bring their team down to just Eternatus now. Yep, goodbye Grimmsnarl. Of course, Rillaboom should also pretty easily drop to Sludge Bomb, although they do have Light Screen up now. Also might want to think about a Recover soon. I'll probably Protect first, actually, because they'll probably Fake Out. And we just click Spite forever into this Eternatus until Ting Lu goes down, which might be this turn. Let's go. Still haven't shown their fourth move. My guess is it's Recover, but they could actually get me if it's Dynamax Cannon. They do just take the KO on Ting Lu there. I don't really have to worry about clicking Recover when they've given me Grassy Terrain. Might be nice if I could preserve Mewtwo in the back a bit longer. But I can just click Life Dew. I mean, let's Psy Strike and Sludge Bomb. Let's try to get this Rillaboom out of here. And again, Mewtwo also has pressure, so anything they throw at me now, 2 PP gone. If that had poisoned Rillaboom, it would KO'd. Well, not KO'd. It would have... I wouldn't be thinking about attacking Rillaboom anymore, but you can just Psy Strike it. I mean, or I could just click Life Dew and Sludge Bomb Rillaboom. I just Psy Strike. And we just click Cosmic Power now because the rest of this game is just Eternatus outlasting their Eternatus in terms of power points. I'm pretty sure I win this. We can play it out if they want. I might as well Psy Strike their Eternatus. Maybe I get a crit and end this early. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of decision making left to do here. Even Life Dew doesn't really feel that worth it. I mean, Mewtwo's going to be worn down over time by the Toxic anyway. It's not like they're doing much damage to my Eternatus. I think probably I would have seen Dynamax Cannon by now if they had it, right? They forfeit. Okay, so we're not going to play that all the way out to the end game, which maybe is for the best for the viewers at home. But what a silly team. Mewtwo and Eternatus, and they went positive in Utrecht with... I mean, I intentionally brought all 4 PP stalling Pokemon every game. Maybe it plays a little bit differently with Rillaboom or Incineroar, but I can't play that much differently. So I'm going to say, with a PP stalling Eternatus stall strategy, don't say I don't bring you interesting stuff on this channel. I was going to say entertaining, but maybe some people didn't find that entertaining. But that's probably it. Japan Nationals content, maybe, if something really catches my eye. Otherwise, that was a fun season of VGC. I'm going to relax and take a hiatus from these tournament videos before next season, and I'll figure out later what my content direction for next season is. if I'm still doing this at all. But it's been fun. See you eventually. I mean, there'll be more videos, just not this kind. See you eventually with more of these, maybe.